Will Jim Harbaugh go to the NFL? So rumors have been swirling that he has interest with the Bears, the Raiders, the Chargers. I just want to kind of open it up with the question, and Gabriel, we'll start with you. Do you believe Jim Harbaugh is going to the NFL?
I don't think he is, and I personally don't want him to. I think it's better for college football and football in general if he stays in Ann Arbor for a multitude of reasons, not the least which he, he, so to speak, got himself into this mess now with the possible investigations that are coming. It'd be fun to see. They already have the bet slogan that they wore on all season. Now, if something more were to come, it'd be cool to see how they face that adversity as a team. So there's that storyline. But then second, just like what we saw today, which I think is a mistake from the Tennessee Titans. We have Tricky from the Turtleheads. He's in one sense I'm the antithesis. Try saying that three times fast to his take on firing coaches. Me personally, I like to see a coach get 3, 4, 5 years and give them a chance to develop and implement their system and see how it goes. So what we saw today was Mike Vrabel getting let go. Owners, they get hot and cold, and some days they're more hands off. Other days they are like, hey, we need you to draft so and so at quarterback, or we need you to go ahead and sign this guy. And I don't think that's how Harbaugh operates at his best. The more hands on he can be, or the better he can be at delegating directly instead of having to answer to the whims of an NFL owner. I think that will serve him best for his career. And then, you know, I want to see, I'm going to say this again. I really just want to see if he comes back to Michigan and they're able to go on another run, or then Ryan Day is able to even up the scoreboard against him in the Michigan OSU rivalry. I think that'd be a much more fascinating, much more fun storyline than, another assistant coach comes in or another big name comes in and picks up the reins from where Michigan left off this season.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly got a good rivalry going on between Harbaugh and Day. And Day loses next year. It sounds like that could possibly end, but it also sounds like it could possibly end with Jim Harbaugh going to the NFL. So it's really, really interesting to talk about and see. Justin, are you with Gabriel? You think he's going to stay, or are you kind of on the other side and think he's going to get going?
No, I think he's out. I think, this is the perfect scenario for him to leave, right? All of this stuff is on Michigan as far as the cheating and the investigation. He has an opportunity right now to get out of that mess on top. The Chargers right now are the heavy favorite, of course, according to the betting odds to land him. And to Gabriel's point, owners, David Tepper, for instance, of the Panthers, way too involved in football personnel moves. I think Harbaugh can create the demand to really find an owner that he meshes well with, and an owner that might give him a lot of that control and trust him with that. Bill O'Brien was that for the Texans. I'm a Texans fan, and it was a failure, right? But Harbaugh is proven to be able to not only get and develop players, but the changes he made to his staff over the last 3 years were the keys to getting them over the hump. And, because him going from people calling for his head a few years back to not, in him making some changes on the staff and making some personnel changes, and look how it completely turned around. So I think wherever he goes, they're going to give him an opportunity to, take as much of the reins as they're willing to give. And I think he'll go to the place that gives him the majority of that opportunity. He goes to a place potentially in the Chargers where, he's got his quarterback. Or if he goes to the Bears, he might have his pick of quarterback. Who knows, in that situation, or the Raiders definitely has his pick of quarterback in the draft. So I think he's gone. I think Michigan will try to match whatever offer they're giving him in the NFL. But I just think the situation right now is too good for him to not leave.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan really wants him back. Ward Manuel had his comments saying, they want him back. And, if I'm Michigan, I want him back too. If he can survive whatever the NCAA is going to do. I've heard some people say they're getting the worst fit. I've heard some people say the NCAA has no backbone. They're not going to do anything. We'll see what's going to happen. But, if they end up not getting anything, it would make sense for Michigan to hang on to Harbaugh and kind of match whatever the NFL tries to pay him. Brant, you break the tie here for us. What are your thoughts? Jim Harbaugh to the NFL, yay or nay?
Yeah, drum roll. I'm going to have to side with Justin on this one. I mean, the rumors have been hot for the past 3-4 years that he's going to the NFL. He always kind of feels around and plays with Michigan's emotions and then comes back. Is what we've seen. So I understand why Gabriel thinks the way he does. But I mean, it's like Justin said, it's just the perfect situation. He's going to come back. If he were to come back to Michigan, he's coming back to a program that's probably going to get slammed by the NCAA within the next few months to year. And that's just not a good situation for any coach to be in. He just won a championship. He can take off and kind of reset with a clean slate in the NFL. He's already had success in the NFL. Obviously, a lot of teams are interested in him because of that and because of the success he's had with turning Michigan around. I think he's gone. I think there's plenty of openings in the NFL. I think there's going to be mutual interest somewhere, and we'll probably see it announced here within the next few weeks.
And right now his value is at its highest.
100%.
Michigan, like Gabriel said, they're talking about this. They're talking about it. It's not one of the best teams of all time, but probably the best Michigan team of all time. When is his value going to be ever higher than it is right now? It's only going to be down from here. I compare it to like fighters who boxers and stuff like that who stay in the game a little bit too long after they were on top and they start taking some brutal knockouts, and it tarnishes their legacy. And that's something I don't think he wants to do.
Yeah, I actually kind of side here more with Gabriel, and kind of for the opposite of the same reasons you gave, Brant, is I'm like, look, the guy has had every chance to leave. He's had, the Vikings, which wanted him, and maybe he hasn't had history there. I don't really know if that really plays a factor with Jim Harbaugh, but we've seen this song and dance before. I get it, the cheating stuff. I get it. He didn't win a national championship in those years, and maybe he wanted to do that. But I think Jim Harbaugh is just doing everything he can to try and get more money out of Michigan. I could be wrong. We'll see. But I really just feel like, Jim has built something, and I truly think he believes he's not going to get any type of punishment that, I shouldn't say any type of punishment. He's going to get a very weak punishment from the NCAA. Whether that be some scholarships lost, whether that be, another, what's it called? Him not coaching games, being suspended, or whatever else that might be. I think he is going to come back. It's going to be really interesting to see. But I also would not be super surprised if he leaves. The other connection piece to this, and Brant, we'll start with you on this one. Do you think that JJ McCarthy's NFL decision will be influenced by what happens with Jim Harbaugh? Say Jim Harbaugh leaves. Is he going to say, well, my head coach is gone, I'm just going to go ahead and head off too? Or if Jim Harbaugh comes back, is he going to say, let's run this back, let's go back to back? Brant, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, they do seem to have a really tight relationship. So I think if Harbaugh leaves, he's definitely gone. But I think even if Harbaugh comes back, McCarthy might just, book it for the NFL. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens there. Obviously, Michigan's probably going to throw some good NIL money at him to try to get him to return. And some more development could always be great for him. You have, like you saw in the championship last night, he didn't really make big plays when needed. He just kind of made plays when needed, as more of a game manager. So there's definitely more value for him to recoup by coming back, as far as the draft goes, especially with how deep the quarterback draft class is this year. So definitely an opportunity for him to come back, but I'm not sure if we'll see it. I really don't know which side I lean on this one. I'm just going to let the kid make his decision and kind of sit back and see what happens. It's kind of tough to call my shot here.
Yeah. Justin, what do you think?
I think it's going to come down to more so him assessing his value versus I don't think it's going to be a Harbaugh decision type of move for him. I don't think he's weighing in on that. We're in the business of the NIL now, right? And people talk about, when quarterbacks and receivers transfer out, them being a package deal, they're going to go to a different school. Those times are done. It's business now. Each person is looking out for their own best interests. And I think McCarthy is probably going to gauge interest and gauge, what he thinks his value is. But in the NIL these days, you get paid a lot more then these guys in college get paid a lot more. Brock Purdy, for instance, $800,000. And then you got guys like Dylan Raiola getting $2 million. You know what I'm saying? It's wild. It's just absolutely wild. So I think he's going to make the best business decision for him. I don't think Harbaugh, the decision is going to factor in for him. But I'm with Brant, as I'm not 100% sure. I know he has the confidence and the moxie that he probably has the confidence himself to know he could be at the next level. But similar to Harbaugh, maybe he wants to come back another year and get his value at its peak, and especially off that performance. It's a risk, but again, he trusts his skills. So maybe he wants to come back and do it. Maybe he wants to leave on top. Those are the questions that are going to make the difference, and those are the questions only he can answer. So,
yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the NIL, because that's a huge thing in college athletics nowadays. From everything I'm hearing, that's what's actually bringing back a lot of these Ohio State guys who normally would go off to the league, like a Jack Sawyer, like a Donovan Jackson, those kind of guys. Michigan's been making an NIL push with some of their message boards. The On3 message board, some of their staff there has been making heavy pushes, telling people we need more NIL. Now, some people interpret that as Michigan is desperate. I don't know if I really interpret it that way. I think, coming off a national championship win, you should have some good NIL. But I've been interpreting that as, JJ McCarthy might come back. And if he can get the right price and make similar money to what he might make in the draft as a late first round pick to a early second round pick, then, he might just come back and try to run this back and do it again. Gabriel, you're the last one on this. What are your thoughts? JJ McCarthy to the NFL? And does Jim Harbaugh influence it? What do you think?
I might say something controversial here. The only way you get better at football is by playing football. And that can be sometimes lost in these NIL discussions going to pro, especially at quarterback. The quarterbacks that are having success now not only have, I forget the exact number of starts, but I think it was 20 plus starts, but they were slinging the rock around. They were running the offense, as fully capable as possible. If we're being honest about what we've seen this year from JJ McCarthy, is it's been a limited offense at times, and you can't fault him for that. But for a lot of it, the Michigan team won because of the defense, through the defense, and not necessarily because of him. Especially in terms of throwing mechanics, getting those live in-game reps will better prepare and better suit him for when he does make that NFL jump. Could he go in there now and, make a team and then probably get thrust in to play an NFL game, especially with all the injuries that are going on? Yes, absolutely. But for him, I think he needs another season, not only in this system, but with the playbook opening up just a little bit more so he can then be better prepared. And then just in terms of if it's connected with Harbaugh or not, if he were to go, what other school would want him? I think they see and they say, wow, he had a lot of great pieces around him, but he's not the difference maker to bring our school from this level to the next level, at least not at this moment. So him staying at Michigan, whether Harbaugh goes or not, I think is the best move for one more season.
Very interesting.
And I'm sorry. Just another reason why I don't think the Harbaugh will matter, because he does that team trusts Sherrone Moore. He's probably going to be the heir apparent, and Harbaugh trusts Sherrone Moore, which is another reason why he might leave, because Sherrone Moore, he's done it. He's won with that team, and he trusts him. So
that's what I was going to say. Is it seems like he has a very special relationship with Sherrone Moore, maybe not to the same degree that he has with Jim Harbaugh, but even if Jim Harbaugh does leave, I think he still has a special relationship with the guy that everybody would assume would take over for Harbaugh if he does go. So thanks for listening to the Big Ten Huddle. Please do like and subscribe. We appreciate that. If this was your first time listening, we are the Big Ten Huddle. We cover all things Big Ten football and basketball. We have a long episode every Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night, all at 9 o'clock. So come in, check us out, get in the chat, let us know what you're thinking. We would love to have you join us and learn more about the Big Ten.